I see us too.
Okay. Hello. Thanks for having me.
Except Mark. I was muted. Funny. It was just Mark's. Somebody say something really quick to make sure I can hear the Discord audio again. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to
Okay, we're
COFYcast.
perfect. We're good. Let me bring it in again. Round 2. Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to COFYcast episode 9. Definitely the first time we're doing the intro. We are joined today by a very, very special guest. Miss Megan is here today to help us talk about Resident Evil. We're really happy to have you, so thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Of
I'm
course.
excited.
Oh yeah, definitely. So plan for today, we're going to talk about, as the title says, Resident Evil, kind of GOAT status, people's opinions on the games and everything. And then we'll probably talk a little bit also maybe about Power World and some other games we've been playing throughout the time. So should be good. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And I think we'll just jump on right into it because Megan, you just beat RE9, most recent
I
title.
did.
Would love to hear your thoughts, and we'll kind of go through what you thought about 9 and give you a chance to talk about your favorites, and then we'll just go from there.
Okay. I was trying to think about it earlier today, and I feel like the end of it was kind of a blur now that I'm a few days away from it. But overall thoughts, when I started it, I really was into it because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it felt very, which obviously I've been playing them all back to back to back, but like if I was a fan that was playing them when they came out, I would probably feel like this is so cool, like nostalgic for a lot of the stuff in the beginning. And then as it went, I started to like it less and less, unfortunately. It wasn't bad overall. I just, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. I didn't love Leon's section. I liked Grace's section more than I thought I would. It was super scary at first, and I was like not used to that style for RE. But
Mm-hmm.
then as it went, I liked it more and more. And then in the very end, I kind of felt like it was a little anticlimactic. But yeah,
No, I mean
what do you
that's
guys
a
think?
that's kind of a common take. I really like 9, but a YouTuber who I'm a big fan of is Maximilian Dude. I talked about him a bunch on the podcast. He had very similar opinions to you. He loved Grace's sections. He thought
Mhm.
Leon's were too long, and he also thought some of Leon's sections, other than right towards the end, were too easy. Like you just
Yeah.
blow through everything, and it was like it should have been more challenging. He thought his solution was he thought there should have been a hard mode from the start. It shouldn't
Mm.
go from
Yeah.
just normal to insanity. He thought that would have paced the game better. But that's not an uncommon take, that people liked 9, but it's not their favorite. It feels a
Yeah.
little disjointed. But yeah, I'll give Glenn a chance to talk because he also has, I know, strong opinions on this for sure.
I know. It seems like Maximilian's take is the same as another content creator under the Mayo, who I watched
Mm,
talk about it, where he also is like, in all the others, you have assisted, standard, professional, or not professional, hardcore right off the gate, right? And that was clearly absent in this one. So you either got the, you know, a standard or was it classic experience, which is like
yeah,
literally the same, except you need ink ribbons to save,
yeah. It doesn't
which
change difficulty. It just
is not
changes the save
changing
system.
anything.
Yeah.
So whether or not that like opened the door to like newer players is, kind of interesting. Is like because it wasn't really a welcoming newer player game from when I analyzed it like that. It's like you kind of had to have that prior knowledge of what to expect in a Resident Evil game, which I think in the way order that Megan played them, it's kind of what she got. She had played 4,
Yeah.
and she had gone through 2 and 3, so she kind of had those prior knowledge of like Grace's section being much more similar to 2 than Leon's sections, like we mentioned, being similar to 4. But yeah, my biggest gripe with the game that has come to me since I played it is like the whole copies thing that was going on in the story. The further I get from that game, I realized like I was kind of disappointed that the only new thing we got was the girl, as she's called in
Yeah.
the game. And all of Leon's sections were stuff we've seen before. So kind of disappointing there. But yeah, that's all I really had. It was interesting what Megan said about like it was nostalgic in the beginning, but
Yes.
less
Yeah.
so in the later half, where I felt the opposite. I felt like as it was ending, all the nostalgia just hits you. Like you're hit with Raccoon City, then Nemesis, or sorry, Mr. X, Hunk, then Nemesis.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was disappointing to me. But gameplay wise, fine. It's always cool to kill shit as Leon. So
Oh yeah,
not
of
gonna gripe
course.
for that. But yeah, definitely.
He has aura
I
for
think
like.
I maybe knew
Yeah.
too much going into it too. Like the Raccoon City part, I'd seen that maybe a
Mm.
million times on Instagram, so I was like, okay, yeah. And I also, I don't know. I think that Wilson and I have talked about this, but the parts with Leon where he was kind of like looking through the city, I didn't like that because I felt like it was very gray and boring, and it
Yes.
felt very
That is a good
like
take.
Modern Warfare-y a little bit,
Yes.
which I didn't love. It just doesn't feel like RE. When I was playing as Grace, I was like, I know that it was a like asylum or sanitarium or something, but it
Yeah.
felt like the mansion style.
Oh, definitely.
I liked that.
I agree.
I agree too. Yeah, that's honestly my biggest critique of 9 is I don't hate Leon's final sections, but I do think it looks too samey. Like it looks it almost looks like how the Resident Evil movies look, like the 2000s ones that are like kind of bad. They
Ooh,
all have that
yeah.
super saturated like war-torn look. So it almost looks like that, which I don't like personally. When I think Resident Evil, that's not what I think. I think more like you say, like the mansion style, like dim lit. I think it would have been a lot better if they did the Raccoon City section at night. War-torn
Yeah.
Raccoon City in the dark would have been awesome. I don't know why they chose to do it in broad daylight. Maybe because they wanted to flex how cool they could make it look, but it would have hit a lot harder, I think, if it was at
I
night.
agree.
Yeah. And a funny anecdote about that is I don't know if you all remember, but I started RE9 at 5 a.m.
Yes.
And that was like during February, so it was dark. And when I finally got to Leon's section, it was light. And then when I got to the Ark as like Leon and Grace in that under lab area, it was dark again.
Yeah,
And so
that's
I was
fair.
What's the point?
this is kind of funny. Like I'm kind of going through the day as like they did. But no, it was goofy. I think a dark Raccoon City would have been fun, but yeah, I think it would have just been as gray as Modern Warfare, like you said, because I
Yeah.
don't see any reasonable explanation they can have for having light sources. Like there
Yeah.
wouldn't be a working light. I would I would write off the fact that there would be working lights in a town like Raccoon City
No.
after what it got hit by. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
mean,
my 2 cents.
I wouldn't even been against it being like no light, like just Leon's flashlight, and you're going through a completely dark
I
city.
see. Yeah, okay.
That would have made that section terrifying.
That would have
right?
put some fear on
Mhm.
Leon's side, yeah. For
And
sure.
then you could have had some light sources from the parts where the military people came in, like around the camp could have been lit and stuff. I just imagined, like, I thought about this post game, right? How sick it would have been to see like the sunrise when Leon ramps off of the skyscraper. That would have been a good moment to shift it back into daytime. would have been at that moment. And then when you're going through the RPD, it could have been completely lit, like daytime for exploration and like all that stuff they want you to do, where they're like, look, it's the same place. And that's my biggest critique, though. I don't hate his section. I do think it's a little long. I think that's a really good take that it's long, because it feels way longer than Grace's sections do, like way longer.
Definitely.
But I guess they hyped the game that way. That's always the weird thing. They hyped it a lot as Leon's swan song, but I don't think it's the last time we've seen him either, you know?
Definitely not.
Obvious spoilers, by the way, but the game's been out for like a year now, so it's
yeah, sorry.
That's out the window at this point.
We're not holding our tongues this episode. There's gonna be Resident Evil spoilers.
I will have edited on the video like a spoiler warning thing, but
good.
Yeah.
I also didn't like how spaced out the boss fights were. Like there was nothing playing as Leon for a long time, and then there was a boss fight. Like I feel like 4, it was like evenly spaced throughout the whole game, which is more fun. But I feel like the lab section at the very end was way too simple. Like I don't think I died once. Maybe I died.
I almost wish more of the Raccoon City part had taken place in the lab. I aesthetically love the lab. I wish it was longer. Like when you first enter the lab as Leon, that's one of my favorite parts of the whole game, like aesthetic wise. Like the crazy evolutionary like statue thing they have going on, showing like the skeleton and everything. Like I found that so creepy but interesting the second you get there. I would have loved more of that. It reminded me of Prometheus a lot. And I almost wish they'd have done more of that right at the end, instead of being like, and you're at the lab, and then it's kind of over.
And 2, the lab section took me so long, and then playing it as both Claire and Leon, like they both took me a long time.
Yeah.
But I liked that. Like I feel like, I don't know, it was too quick.
Yeah, I mean it's the final area. It should be like really built up.
Yeah, I agree. In terms of favorite specific section, Meg, from RE9.
Good question.
Do you have one, a favorite puzzle or a favorite like specific rather than Grace section or Leon section type of deal?
Favorite puzzle? I don't know.
Yeah,
I think personally my favorite section was Grace at the very beginning. Because I just had never like played the RE game where it was like that, where it was really scary, like her getting into off the street and then into that like area. I don't know. I think that whatever that part was called.
Yeah.
But that part was cool. And then I liked having to do the whole like you get a wristband, you go through a door, then you have to find the other wristbands for the other doors, the way you had to do in RE2. I like that. I'm trying to think of anything else. I don't think I had any. There were parts of Leon sections that I hated. I don't think I had one that I loved. I guess the motorcycle part was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
I can't think of a puzzle. Were there any puzzles?
There was a lot less for Leon. There's a couple.
Yeah.
But it's
like
yeah.
I mean, in terms of Leon, I don't think there are any like cool puzzles, but I know Grace had a lot better puzzles. The like triangle or what the diamonds, the diamond crystals that you kind of had to find the codes for in the pictures. One of them took acidic bottle to break off. I remember that one being cool.
Oh, I definitely like that one.
Yeah, but no, I think that was just the fact of like they didn't give Leon puzzles; they gave Grace all the puzzles. So,
Leon's puzzles were very 4-esque, where it's like it's a combat puzzle more than it's like a direct puzzle, right? Like true. My least favorite, if we're gonna call it a puzzle even for Leon, is the section with the missiles. That pissed me off so much the first time I played the game. Like you can't hide from those missiles anywhere. Even if you find like the mortars, not missiles, sorry, the mortars.
Okay, I was just making sure I was understanding.
No, you're right, yeah. And then you hide in that one building from them, and then they just blow the building up, and you're like, well, then what was the point of giving me this place to hide if you're just gonna blow it up?
That part was so annoying.
Yeah, that was definitely like.
I do remember that.
That was the moment in Leon's run where I was like, this is going a little long. Then when I was doing that section, that's where I thought to myself, this section's a little bit long.
For me, it was like the glass where you had to shoot them, and then they would like fall through the glass. I kept accidentally falling through the glass myself. So,
because that's a little puzzle too. Like you have to shoot this specific sofa to like make it a ramp.
Yeah.
But even then,
Yeah,
that's
I
still a
don't.
complete
I did have
puzzle.
to look that up. I couldn't figure it out.
That's
There you
funny.
go.
Nah, I respect that.
But I was to play devil's advocate, man. I really hated that motorcycle section. I know a lot of
that's fair.
people, like even I, like day one was glazing the shit. I was like, this is awesome. But like it kept bringing me back to like Jill's parts in RE3, where at the end of the day, I was following a destined line on that road,
Mm.
not doing anything.
Nothing.
No, yeah.
So I loved the spectacle of it. Like, hey, I like motorcycle scenes as much as the next guy, but like that was nothing of substance. And like you could barely fail that thing. You'd have to put down your controller, especially the standoff between Victor and Leon.
Oh, yeah.
You can't mess that up unless you put the controller down.
Yeah.
And so that was disappointing. But in my schizophrenic coping, I think that is them testing the Resident Evil 5 on the on-rail shooter sections. Because
Definitely.
I think those are coming.
That's a section in 4 too.
Yeah, the mine carts.
On the rail shooter in 4? Oh, the mine cart. Yeah.
Yes, that's what it felt like for me. I was like, but I hated that section in 4. It was a lot easier in 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 9 is nothing.
The 9
Dogs.
section reminds me so much of, like, I've said this before, I think on the podcast, but I'll say it again because I think it's a good take. Like old school arcade shooters like Time Crisis, where you stand there with your friend with the little gun and you like shoot at random stuff, and then it just pans the camera over and it's like, oh, shoot everything that pops up. Okay, it's gonna move the camera over again. Like you're not moving, you're just shooting stuff that shows up. It's very like that sort of arcadey feeling, and it wants to be. Don't get me wrong, it definitely wants you to have that feeling of like, Leon's so cool. Oh my god, I wish I was just like him, right? Like, yeah,
A lot of that in this one.
definitely.
A lot of that.
And you raise a really good point, Glenn. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you're gonna say something, Megan.
I wasn't saying anything. Go ahead.
No, you make a really good point when we talk about like style over substance. I do feel like if I could sum up the game in one thing, Leon's sections feel like style and Grace's feel like substance. I feel like every major plot revelation happens during Grace's sections. And then Leon is just the action sequences, right? It's like when you're playing as Grace, that's when the story's moving forward and you're like discovering lore stuff. And then it's like, hey, was this getting a little slow? Leon's going to blow some shit up for 30 minutes and then you're going to go back to Grace, right? Like a good chunk of the game operates that way. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I definitely wish they would have paced it out better. Like it's very front-loaded Grace and then heavy back-loaded Leon, right? Whereas maybe if you broke it up a little bit better, I think that could have been cool.
I agree. And they could have made more substance because 4 was very combat heavy and had a lot of substance still.
Definitely.
And had a cool aesthetic. So I feel like they kind of just like put that stuff on the side and they were like, let's just make the combat cool.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Just the fact of like, I think as everybody's allowed to like what they like, but I think the glaze of Leon just got too big for Capcom's britches. You know?
Yes.
I think they were like, dude, people love Leon, and the only reveals that happen during Leon are, like the copies that I was disappointed with. Like the only impacts are he arrives at Raccoon City, Mr. X is alive in there.
Yeah.
Zeno is fucking Wesker, allegedly.
That's true. Yeah.
And Hunk is back and fighting Leon, and oh my god, Victor has been Nemesis clone the whole time.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Meanwhile, Grace is like, holy crap, Spencer wants to fix the world actually, and stuff like.
Yeah, he regrets making the weapons. Yeah, and stuff like that.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, I agree.
I was gonna bring up something like, do you think because when the game was first announced, we didn't know that Leon was going to be in it, right? They had that first teaser and it was just Grace.
That is true.
And then there was like a second or third, I don't remember, but then they showed the teaser with Leon and it was a surprise.
Yeah.
Do you think they could have done this game without Leon, or do you think it was always planned from the beginning and they were just going to surprise him in the second teaser?
I think that's a really good question.
That's a really good question. That's nothing but skepticism, was it speculation question though. Like we'll never know what was in their minds. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we don't know what was on their minds, but I feel like it'd be like a 7 experiment where it's like, okay, this is a brand new character.
Yeah.
But it is kind of the same formulas too.
Yeah.
So, I don't
I
know.
think, here's my opinion. I think they're setting up pretty hard, especially considering they're doing Code Veronica next and rumored RE5. I really think eventually, whenever RE10 happens, it's going to be like a torch pass moment where it's like, hey, we're going to give finalizing to all the like classic characters, right? Like Leon, Chris, Jill, Claire. And they'll maybe. 9 feels a lot like they're setting up to give the future torch to Grace. Like they throw her in, they give you this huge section as her. She's a very easy character to relate to because she's normal. She's not a superhuman like Leon or any of the other protagonists. She's an FBI agent who got drug into this because of her mom, you know, which also is one of the strong suits of her campaign, for the record. I like that she's like freaking out the whole time because it's very relatable. Like I would freak out if I was in that situation too. Grace has like 90% of the swears in this game. Like half her dialogue in the first half is just going like fuck, shit, oh my god, like just like freaking out the whole time. And it feels like by the end she's not that. She's rose to the occasion and like really clutches up. I could see her showing up again in 10 and getting kind of like this, like now she's equipped and she becomes your like Jill to an extent. And then it's like, all right, Grace and company going forward or something like that. But I don't know. Capcom tried to do that with 6 and people didn't like it. Where they like tried to give everyone their swan song and people got mad. But
people did get mad. And then they called the Lord and Savior to save them.
I think
he did.
He did indeed. It's like they got the whole Ethan thing going on. But also, I'll say this, and I actually want to pose this because I think this goes off of Mark's question, and it also answers a chat question we got, which is why do we think they gave Grace a lot of the substance? I do think that's because they might want to pass the torch, but I think the big difference would be, I'm going to give mild spoilers for Devil May Cry 5. So mild spoilers, very early in the game. You do get to play as lots of the other main characters from the franchise in 5, but characters like Dante mostly take a back seat in 5. They're important to the plot, but you don't play as them. They're not the main character. But he's still there the whole time. I don't have an issue with being like, hey, Grace is the new staple, maybe add another character, but like Leon and Chris and gang still show up. Like you don't have to be like, we're done and dusted, they're gone. You know what I'm saying? Like they did with 6, where they were like, we want to just be done with these people forever, right? I don't think it needs to be that way, but I also don't think, you know, for all of eternity, every game has to have Leon. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything wrong with the way some of the games handle it, where they have them just cameo and be important, but you're not playing as them, right?
Yeah. I was surprised no cameo of Chris, even though he was mentioned.
He's mentioned.
He was
mentioned. You have a theory on that, Willis?
I do. I think he will be the DLC. I do think Chris will be the DLC.
What do we think he was doing during this?
So he's a part of the, I forgot what it's called.
The Wolves?
But like,
is that what you say? The Wolves, yeah.
It's like a section of the like anti-bioterrorism unit that you see in Raccoon City in 9. Those like hazmat suit guys, they're like soldiers.
Yep.
They're tasked with taking out bioweapons, which is much clearer in 7. When you finish that, you will see that he is a part of that team. And then when you see him in 8, you will see he is a part of the Wolves. So, for example, just imagine what you went through as Grace is happening somewhere else just as bad. And so, you know, like the fact that we aren't seeing what Claire, Ada, Jill are going through, regardless of the fact that they were all in Raccoon City and they should all be fighting the same virus. It's just the fact Chris was doing it somewhere else. Probably my opinion is Chris and Claire were fighting the virus together.
Yeah.
They solved themselves, went to go check on Leon. And that's when the wolf comes down. He's like, are you Leon S. Kennedy? And he's like, who's asking? It's like, Chris finally solved his problem.
Yes,
let's go check the others. Number 1 on the list is Leon. Because I don't, like, why would Chris care about Ada?
He wouldn't. No. Not at
exactly.
Do we think he's in the same setting or somewhere else?
I think somewhere else.
Yeah.
Somewhere else with Claire. Claire or Jill, because Chris and Jill are closer than
Right.
Chris and Leon.
No, I agree.
So
But we haven't seen a Chris and Claire, so I could see that over Chris and Jill.
I
Exactly.
think that
Veronica gonna be Chris and Claire.
I think Code Veronica will be Chris and Claire, and I think that they'll test the waters if people like that duo, because that would be interesting.
what I'm gonna say is like that story is like set and done.
It is.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit with this RE9 DLC.
Yeah,
They
it
can
could
do
be
whatever they
anything.
want.
True.
So Code Veronica was Chris and Claire, but like I doubt they're gonna like, oh, let's test the waters. Water's been tested. Like that's Code Veronica. It's Code Veronica.
Yeah,
In the original, do you play as Chris ever, or is it just Claire the whole game?
I think it's just Claire.
it's just Claire, but Chris is in the story, if I
we
remember
can fact
correctly.
check it.
Yeah, fact check that. I'm pretty sure though you just play as Claire, but Chris is present for the story.
Yeah,
Because there's
he's,
that crazy ass cheesy cutscene everybody posts on Twitter of him like landing on the car, and she's like, Chris, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, Chris is playable in the second half of the game.
There you go. Yeah.
Ooh.
I still have not played Code Veronica,
I haven't
but
either.
Something will happen where Chris is there.
Are you guys gonna play it before it comes out?
No,
Ooh, probably
I'll play
not.
the remake one. Yeah,
Definitely. I kind of want to go in blind.
Good.
I will.
But
You wanna go in
I definitely
blind?
could.
Okay.
I want to go in blind because I know little to nothing about Code Veronica. I've seen the memes. Like, I know, like, because that game gets memed on so hard. That's why I'm
It
really
does.
curious how they handle it. Because that trailer at the Game Awards seemed pretty serious. And every
was.
time I've seen Code Veronica clips, it's been, like, really stupid, cheesy stuff. So I'm
Mhm.
curious if they'll tone back a little bit of it like they did with RE4. Where, like, they tried to make it a little more serious, but they left Leon's dialogue cheesy. Like, if they'll cut some of Claire and Chris being cheesy, since they're more serious in 2 and, like, Chris's cameos, but they let the twins be weird, like the villains. I think that would be a good move, maybe, but it's all
I don't
speculation
even
at this point.
know. I'm trying to even see where you could play Code Veronica because it's not on Steam.
Yeah, Code Veronica is one of those, like, you know, not by legal means to achieve playing it a little bit, because it's not
That's
ported to
true.
most stuff.
Yeah. Code Veronica X has a remastered PS2 version, which you can play on PS5, but I don't know. It just seems like going out of your way for a game that we're gonna get like in the next couple of years or so.
I mean, yeah. Oh, it's also
Just in a
Veronica
matter-
remakes like soon. It's next year.
Yeah.
Early next year.
2027.
Oh shit! Okay, even better.
Yeah,
Then,
so like,
I would sit on that.
no,
yeah. Okay.
I'm excited for that. That's gonna be good.
Me too. It's always good to see characters freed from the Capcom basement because there's a lot of them in there. Hell,
Oh, yeah.
fucking Ashley, or what was it? I seem like such a fucking larper right now. Who's the
No, you're
mom
good.
of Grace? Ashley Ashcroft.
I
Seems
think you're
wrong.
right. I think so.
Not
don't
Laura.
know.
Wait, no.
Laura Ashcroft. Yeah.
Laura
It's gonna
Okay,
be
yeah. You're thinking of you're thinking of Ashley from 4. That's what you're.
Ashley from 4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Alyssa.
Alyssa, there it is.
Ashcroft.
Yes,
Alyssa.
yes.
Laura
Okay,
Ashcroft
okay.
is a different character, I think.
Yeah, so she was in the basement for a long time. There's people like Barry. I guess Barry's dead.
Dude, well, yeah, Barry's dad from RE1.
I meant Parker. Parker from Resident Evil
Yes.
Revelations.
Yes. Another good one, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Rebecca's only
Chambers-
reference is like
Dude,
Wesker being a weirdo. Like, it's
Jake
Yeah.
Wesker, bro.
yes, Jake Wesker,
He-
his son.
He still exists somewhere.
And they're clearly
somewhere.
not afraid. It's so funny. They retconned so much from 6, where they were like,
They
yeah, we're
did.
just going to pretend this didn't happen. But then Sherry shows up, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like, has her same job from 6. So clearly they're not afraid to take stuff from 6. They're
They
kind of
really
just
aren't.
like, when they don't like something, they're just like, we changed that.
Maybe this is spoilers for 6, but what happened to Leon's character that you're a co-op with? Like the
Oh,
his
Helen?
side character.
That's a
Oh,
good
Helen.
question.
Dude,
That would be a good
basement
pull to bring
status,
back.
bro.
That's actually the bottom of the
Basement-
basement. Helen is a
That
deep
is the
pull.
bottom of the basement.
Because she's
'Cause
only in
everybody was
6.
like- Everybody saw her as nothing but a Ada replacement. And then people were like, Helena Harper.
Yes. Helena. There you go.
She's nothing but another agent working with Leon, and everybody was like, "We want Ada," and that's when Ada's campaign got added as like a standalone. You can't even co-op that one.
The game
No,
is
no,
such a
that is
mess.
bottom of the barrel basement for sure. Yeah,
Like
but
Chris's co-op with 5.
Yes.
Pierce,
I would love to have Sheva come
Nivens.
back. I actually think if there's someone who's in the basement who needs to come back, it's Sheva.
Yeah,
She's so important to the plot in 5, and she's such a good character. Everybody likes Sheva. They're just afraid to touch 5 because
They
they're
are.
probably working on it. Obviously, there's controversy around it. But
I would be too.
Sheva's voice actress, too. Every con she goes to, she's like, I want to be in more of the games, please. And she's
Yeah.
great. Like, bring her back.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's such a good character, man. But yeah, she only got the 5 treatment as like Chris's like tour guide of Africa. Like Chris would not have known like where to go if it wasn't for Sheva
Mm-hmm.
just being a local. So we'll see. I don't know. My hopes are very low for a girl like Sheva getting anything new.
It's true.
They would just go back to Africa, and I don't think they're gonna do that again.
No.
But yeah.
What about Emily?
Ooh, that's true.
The kid.
Yeah.
She's with Grace now.
Yes, she is.
I
with
saw
Grace
that
now.
as nothing but another Sherry clone.
Yeah, they
Just something
may.
for the
But Sherry comes back.
Sherry does
I
come
guess
back.
Sherry does come back, but
Also, Emily could. It'll be interesting.
From 2 to 6.
Emily could
Here's
end up
the
being
thing.
a. This would be crazy, but they could totally make Emily a similar character to like someone like Chris, right? Where like they clearly experimented on her or went through something, right? And Chris has that whole thing where he becomes like super strong in 5. You know, the notorious boulder punch, right? They're not afraid to turn characters into superhumans. You know what I'm saying? There's a real cameo of like, oh, we need somebody to be strong. Oh, Emily was like experimented on. Oh, look, late stage like superpowers. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they do that eventually. It wouldn't be the first time. Would not be the first time. And it's right there. It's an easy path for Capcom to do that.
I don't know. I think she'd get the Sherry treatment.
No, I
Like,
agree.
As a kid in 2 and then an adult in 6, it'll be a kid in 2, an adult in 12, and she's gonna be the girl on the computer.
No,
Like,
I agree
we
with
should
you,
look
actually.
at her.
I agree with you for Emily. I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't be the first time in the Resident Evil franchise they've been like, we need someone to do something important. In case of emergency, break glass. Emily secretly had powers the whole time, right? Like,
Okay, I see what
that's
you're
what I'm saying. They'll keep her around for something
Cameo.
like that. I guarantee it.
They never fully cured her.
Yeah, exactly. She'll like catch a car or something stupid. Like, be like, oh my god.
Yeah. Speaking of superpowers, can we talk about Ethan Winters now?
Yes, we can pivot to Ethan Winters.
Megan!
This is gonna be the beef of the podcast. I'm gonna just let this happen.
No, it's not. It's not beef. I would love to hear your opinion on RE7, as you see it right now.
Okay, so last night I played. I ended up. I'm like at a spot where I don't know what to do next. Like I feel like I've discovered everything and I don't know what to do. I finally unlocked something that's like the zombies that I was complaining about, like the random zombies, but they're just like things that were coming out of the wall in the bathrooms and stuff.
Yeah.
I think
The
I'm in like
mold.
the basement.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
mold
mold.
men. I think that's what they call them.
Mold. Yeah,
Mold
the
men.
mold.
Yeah.
Man.
So that was fun. Also, I played on mouse and keyboard last night instead of a controller, and it was a lot easier to shoot.
I heard about
Um,
that. That's good.
yeah, but Jack is chasing me again.
Naturally.
Not fun. Which I don't know if this is what you were talking about when you were like, I know the reasons why you like the other RE games, why you won't like this one. I don't know what you meant by that, but one thing that I hate a lot is that it doesn't stop time when you open your inventory or when you open the map. That really pisses me off.
I
I like to
see.
know, like, I'm very directionally challenged when I play the RE games. So I need to like pause every few seconds to know where I need to turn. I get it, it's probably to make it harder, but it's not like it.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I
I don't
get
like
that.
Jack.
Yeah.
It's boring to me.
No, I get that completely.
Yeah, when I mentioned that, Megan, I was definitely about the map, right? There's so much inventory management in that game, and as far as I'm concerned, like for the first time ever, it won't tell you when a room is completed, and if there's a thing in that room, it won't be like on the map, so you can like go pick it back up again if you need it.
Hmm.
So it is so much of just needing to remember where things are, which is not fun.
Hmm.
And they even do this crafting thing where you need to craft like eyesight boosters that will mark items in the room,
Yeah,
which
I
is a
haven't taken those yet. Because it's like,
yeah,
which room am I supposed to take them in?
it will show you everything on the map for a second,
Oh,
and then it goes away. But
great.
it creates just this annoying, overstimulating thing of white circles all over your screen.
Yes.
Oh,
And you'll walk towards one and realize, oh, it's pointing to an object 3 areas away from me,
Hmm.
but it's the same size circle as something that's right in the room with me. And so when I was replaying 7, I was like, yo, the system is really bad.
Yeah.
Like this is really bad. Um, so that was what I was under the impression of, oh, Megan might not like this. Um, and so I was so surprised to hear about you disliking the stalker enemy. I thought
yeah.
you were so into those.
No, I mean, I love RE2, but like playing the Mr. X parts are my least favorite,
Oh wow.
and the Nemesis parts of 3.
Oh yeah, definitely the Nemesis parts. I get that.
Um, well, I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure you don't quit the game. So I'm trying to like say what I can to make sure you progress. But like RE7 is so good because every enemy is a certain horror movie trope.
Yes.
Um, so Jack is the slasher like Jason. He's literally Jason and Michael Myers.
Okay.
They'll never die. They'll always come back and have a ninth movie in the series. Like they're just not
Yeah.
killable. Um, Marjorie is like the grotesque body horror,
Yeah, she's like the
bugs
Thing.
and whatnot. Yeah, the thing exactly. Um, and Lucas is Saw, the Saw movies.
Oh yeah, because of the
So
traps.
I think it progresses so well, and similar to what Willis was saying about Grace being a normal, average, everyday person. That's Ethan Winters, mom. That's Ethan Winters. There's not a thing
He
going
is,
for
yeah.
the man besides the love he has for his wife and the desperation he has to get her back and safe.
Yeah. I think a good thing to say about 7 too, especially to encourage Megan to keep playing, but also I think a very fair critique of it is I view 7. I'm gonna get canceled for saying this, but this is so funny. I feel very similar to RE7 complaints that I do with, for example, Ocarina of Time, where I'm like, RE7 saved Capcom. That is a game that got them away from bankruptcy, that helped them a lot. But similarly to me, always getting shit on Twitter from like one random guy who finds our podcast about when I talk about Ocarina of Time, RE7 is a decade old now. And a lot of the
Yeah,
mechanics in it are outdated by a large margin. It was
absolutely.
incredibly good when it came out. I remember playing RE7 on the PS4 launch night with my friends doing PS4 party screen share and all of us like screaming and having a good time. I love that game. Similar to how Glenn said though, and what Megan is experiencing playing it for the first time, playing it post all the modern RE games is a little rough, you
Hmm.
know? And that's how I feel about like Ocarina of Time when I've said in the past. Like if you've played a modern Zelda and you go back to that game that came out in 1998, it has aged bad. I feel like the same thing is starting to happen to 7, where it's like the story is still very solid in 7, but mechanics like the eyesight boosters or the weird way they've laid out the house and, you know, how claustrophobic it can feel. And I know that's intentional, But my biggest critique of 7 is it feels overly claustrophobic in certain sections, to the point where it's like, hey, I know you're going for this vibe of like I'm trapped, but you're doing it so much it's not fun anymore. Like, I'm just having trouble physically moving Ethan through this hallway. That's not fun. You know what I mean? There's plenty of games like Silent Hill 2, for example, that do claustrophobic sections where I don't feel like I can't control James. You know? But
Absolutely.
again, that's just that game has aged. It came out 2016, 2017. You know? It's old.
Something like that.
It's getting up there. I mean, a game's technically considered, I think, retro after 15 years. So it's getting there. And I think it's also worth noting, though, and to encourage Megan, is that RE7, I would say, is a backloaded game. The ending of that game is really good. And I think it's worth getting to it. But it's definitely a struggle. Especially after you've played RE4, which is like perfect. In my eyes, at least. I think RE4 is like a perfect game.
It's just like way easier to, I don't know, get stuff done. I feel like I'm not getting anything done when I'm playing.
Yeah.
I would say
it's hard to run. It's hard to shoot. It's hard to like actually slow down Jack.
Yeah.
And I'm on easy mode. I'm not doing anything crazy, and it's
no, that's
I
fair.
can't even
That's
imagine
completely
it
fair.
on standard or hard.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that's like another fair point. Like, I don't think there's a run. You know, I think it's meant to be slow experience. Like trembling, you know, almost like if you play Grace in third person, she literally trips to account for the fact that you can run now. So stuff like that. And yeah, I think doors are clunky in RE7. I hate the door system in that game.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
There's like no way to even close them properly. But admittedly, I did play 8 before 7. 8 was my first Resident Evil ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my very first Resident Evil ever was Resident Evil 8. I played with my friend Benny, and Elliot was there. Hard lock.
Shout out.
No, too well. Yeah, I watched Benny play the dollhouse section of 8, which, if you know, you know, and that scared the shit out of me. And I was like, I'm picking this up right now. I was so like shell shocked that Resident Evil could be that scary. I was like, I'm picking this up right now. And I played all of 8 and then went back to 7 and then played 2. And
yeah, what's the full order for both
chronologically?
Oh, of us playing them?
You've played them.
Yeah. You go Glenn.
Yeah, so my first one, RE8, RE7, RE2, RE4, RE3, RE5, RE6, RE9. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Enough?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I guess that's 8.
3 after 4 would be tough. I can understand why that would suck.
Would be tough. I think RE3, because my gripes with RE3 is when I realized what they did to change it from the original.
Yeah.
They nerfed Nemesis. Nemesis isn't a threat. And
he
just isn't. Every time you see him, he's scripted, Megan. There's not a single unique thing about him. Especially like listen, in a vacuum standalone RE3 Nemesis, yeah, that's cool. When you see what he did in the original, and they couldn't even recreate that in modern, like why? Why is he no longer stalking me? Why is the instant he gets a missile, it's now an on the rail runaway section?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the original, he stalks you with the missile the whole time. And especially the flamethrower. When he gets the flamethrower, it's like if Mr. X just had a flamethrower and you have to avoid that. Instead, it's like, oh, climb the scaffolding while he has a flamethrower, which is scripted. He's set to pause when you get too slow, so he doesn't catch up with you that fast. Anyway, that's my gripe. That's my gripe with RE3. The golden paint, the yellow paint is another thing. They're all doing that now.
That's a complaint for a lot of games these days. People have
that is true.
Is the yellow paint. For me, the
I wish
order.
7 had yellow paint. That'd be great.
If there, honestly, that's a good take though. If there's a game that needs it, it might be 7. With like how easily you can get lost in the house and be like, where am I? Especially because Ethan moves kind of slow compared to the other games. My order is a little all over the place. I guess if we go all the way back, I played 4 sitting next to my dad on the couch on his PlayStation 2 when I was like 7. So it was one of his favorite games, and he would play it, and I would just sit there and watch him play it. So that would technically be my first exposure. And then years later, I played co-op with him when I was like 13, 14. I played 5 and 6 with him. Both of which, admittedly, we just had fun playing co-op, but they're not like the best story-wise. And then, after I had just played those as a teenager, didn't touch the franchise at all throughout high school until right at the end when 7 came out. Because it was a huge deal when 7 was coming out for the PlayStation. I remember all the advertisements they were doing and everything. They kept doing that Go Tell Aunt Rhody, like, fairy tale song thing and all those ads. I remember that so vividly. Played 7, loved it.
It's a hype song.
It is. It goes really hard. And then, so after 7, I was hooked. I remember I played 7 a lot. I like tried to get all the achievements, had fun. I did the whole Ethan Must Die mode that they added. And
That's hard as shit.
And then like a year or so later, they did 2. And at that point, I was kind of just a fan. And I started playing all of them on release. And I eventually went back at some point. I think my order was like 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 2 remake. When 2 remake came out, I went back and played 1 remake. And then watched my friend play RE3 remake. And after he complained continuously, I never bought it. So I've
never played 3
I've
remake?
never played 3 remake.
Megan, isn't that crazy? I still can't
That is
believe
crazy.
that.
I watched my
might
friend
like
play the whole
it.
thing. I should play it because it's really the only one I haven't played. It's kind of crazy that I
Personally,
haven't.
I think it has. 4 I think has the most replayability.
I
but
agree.
3 might be up there because it's not that like it's
Not
the
long.
stories-
It's
I
short.
like a linear storyline. I think.
Hmm.
It is linear and short,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I definitely need to go play it. But then watched all of 3 remake, and after it had all that bad PR, especially I was in college, I didn't have money. I was like, bro, everyone I know hates this game, and I was like, I'm not gonna blow money on it. You know what I'm saying? But then I went back and played remake. I did 1, and then I also played on a very legal copy on my computer, Resident Evil 2 original, which
Very
I really
legal.
liked. And I never played RE3
Hard.
original though. I should have done that back then. And then that was around when 4 remake came out. So then 4 and then 9, pretty much for me.
Was the hardest.
Ooh, that's a good
The
question.
hardest?
And
Just
I
played
played
the
8 on
original,
release.
so-
I should have said that. I played 8 on release.
Yeah.
RE1 is pretty tough. It's very
I-
punishing.
Yeah, I mean, because to me, the hardest thing I did was get S+ rank on professional in RE4.
That is tough.
I think that's without a doubt the hardest thing I did, but I can't, in good conscience, call RE4 the hardest one.
No.
First playthrough hardest.
I
Playthrough
think hardest would be RE1, and that's because of the correct me if I'm wrong here. I could be totally misspeaking because I've only played the original 1 time. But there's a limited number of ink ribbons. And so I,
that's true.
personally speaking, am a save freak in games. I save every chance I get. I am that kind of
True.
person. I'm the guy who they give you that alert at the end of Metal Gear Solid where it's like, you saved how much? And it like pokes fun at you for like doing it too many times. I get that every time I play those games. When I was first playing RE1, I like low-key soft-locked myself because I would just use them constantly. And then I'd be like, oh, great. Now I'm like screwed because I didn't like space these out far enough. And oh, God, it's just... I mean, you could critique RE2 this way as well. It's just the door animation and how slow, even the remake, it all loads slow and it's, a lot of backtracking in RE1. And I think... even having played RE2 with the police station sections and everything, like the original, RE1's way more punishing if you make a mistake.
Interesting.
Like there's a lot of sections in 2, like when you're being chased or get caught, that if you've been like paying attention to the police station layout, you can like lose Mr. X. It's the same way in the remake, right? You can lose him really easy. You can avoid the dogs. There's so many dead ends in that mansion in RE1 that it's like, oh, I ran in the wrong room. I'm cornered. I'm dead. I have to replay the last hour and a half of gameplay because I haven't saved since then. Like, that's just so punishing. It gets annoying really fast, to the point where you're almost like looking up a guide to like see ahead and be like, all right, am I going to trap myself by accident in this next room? Like, what's about to happen? So I definitely would say 1 is still the hardest, or at the very least the most punishing. That's kind of how I think about it.
I see.
For me, because I've never played 1, mine is definitely the RE2 remake. Just because, I went RE8, RE7. I got used to the coldest winter there is, Ethan.
Yeah.
It was just
It was pretty good.
easier. Yeah, Ethan Winters, the coldest winter we got. Ethan Welcome Down Winters. Ethan saved the franchise Messiah Winters. He was just what I was used to.
Mm-hmm.
From the lens of myself, a first-person shooter, I was equipped with walking them down.
Yeah.
Simply. And then when I get to RE2, and first of all, RE8 inventory management doesn't exist. Biggest inventory you've ever had in RE8.
It is crazy.
More than
does not
4?
exist. Better than 4, because 4
Whoa.
has crafting items be in your briefcase.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In 8, all your crafting items are in an infinite satchel that is just kept on the crafting screen. So crafting materials don't take up space. It's just guns and ammo now, and healing. But healing only comes in jars, and they're like
They're small.
2x1 squares. Yeah. And so when you get to 2, and I have to start like earning my inventory slots.
Oh yeah.
It's
a jump.
First, there's not like any safe codes I need to know in 8 or 7. In RE2, that's like half of the upgrades are just safe codes you have to find.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was pretty hard. Yes, saving became a hard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just seemed like harder to save in RE2, whether that was because
no, definitely.
Where 8 is still very linear, 7 is still very linear. 2's police station, you just have to like experience it. Like, you just gotta be like, I have this key now. Better go open all those doors and see what happens. And all of it is just backtracking. Sometimes you gotta dodge Mr. X. Sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
And so I think that was RE2 for me, most difficult.
No, that's a fair. I mean, RE2 almost the whole game almost feels like a giant puzzle, which is very fun about it.
Yeah.
Like it's like
It
one
did
thing
make
leads
fun.
into another. Where the other games feel like they have puzzle sections, RE2 feels like it is a giant puzzle that you are solving while running away from zombies the whole time, which is very fun. It's like, can you solve a jigsaw puzzle while you're scared? That's kind of how RE2 feels.
That was like my extensive experience with RE2, the 2 hours I have played in it and the police station. It's funny, Glenn, because it's like I haven't played any of the other RE games, so I'm playing, I get a gun and I'm like, oh, that's a zombie, bam bam, that's another zombie, bam bam. I make it through halfway to the police station. I'm like, oh my god, there's more zombies, and I'm like, click click, I have no more bullets.
Yeah.
And there's like 8 zombies, and I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? And then I learned that you're actually not supposed to unload your magazine on every zombie you see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. I have to play this a lot differently than I thought.
Did you play it on like hard mode when you started?
I was just playing on regular, I think. But
I think they called standard too.
Yeah, but I don't think
Standard,
it matters because it's just like the mentality, right? Because it's like if you don't know that how you're supposed to navigate, maybe in that game in particular, because it sounds like the other games, it's different where maybe ammo isn't as much of an issue.
Depends. It's a problem in 7.
It's not as bad.
7, it can be a problem, definitely.
Okay,
I had that experience with
That was
7
a factor.
because I went from 4, 5, and 6 into 7, and you're just blasting everything in those games. And then I played 7, and I was like, I had the exact same experience as Mark. I would unload every round I had into Jack. He would not die, and I'd be like, great, I have no bullets. I'm cooked. This is bad.
And see, that's the thing with 2. It's like it wasn't scary for me until I realized like ammo is limited. Because I was going in there and I'm like, damn, how many zombies does it take to kill this? I'm like 8 bullets in, and I'm like, man, they're kind of annoying. And the fear didn't
are.
set in until I was out of ammo and I had to run past like all these doors and zombies and I had to dodge. And I'm like, okay, this is a little scarier now that I can't just shoot
Yeah.
everything I see.
Oh yeah, definitely.
7 does this awkward thing where there's 2 types of ammo, the enhanced ammo and the regular
Yes.
ammo, which
Yeah.
causes a lot of ammo deficits from
Yep.
what I remember. So, yeah, but
I accidentally used an enhanced ammo. It's like switching from my controller to mouse and keyboard, so
Ah,
lost it.
I also had
gotcha.
a unique. I should say too. I had a very unique experience with 7 because I played 7 in VR. I had a PlayStation
Which is
VR.
crazy.
That
I want to
was
do that so
it.
bad.
Was so fun. That's part of the reason I meant to add that earlier when I talked about I had good memories playing 7. Playing that shit in VR was terrifying, and I think a lot of the
Oh.
reason I remember that game so well, and then when I've come back to it later and played it like on Steam or like on my PlayStation 5, and it's like you're just playing it in 2D after that, I'm like, this doesn't hit the same. You know what I'm saying? As like everything, and that was around when VR was first coming out. And
Mhm.
I remember I had worked a summer job because they were advertising how big a deal it was going to be that Resident Evil was going to be in VR. I worked like an extra shift in my summer job to afford a PSVR, which is now obsolete. Love that. Can't use that
It
damn
is.
thing anymore. And that scene in the opening of 7 when Mia, stabs through your hand. Seeing that in VR when that was like new tech was like mind blowing. I was so scared. I was like, oh my god, that's gonna actually stab me. Yeah, literally, like and that's such a unique experience. I know they've made mods and different adapters for like 4 you can do in VR now as well, but it's not the same. I would love to see them do that again, like make it like an optional DLC for people, because I do think the games are fun in that state, but I don't think they have to. But I think that
Grace
makes
and 9 with VR would be cool.
yes,
That would be cool.
that's what I was gonna go to. I was
That
like,
would be cool.
would love that, love that.
I want a VR so bad just for that. Like every time I think about biting the bullet and getting a VR headset, I just think about like redoing those late Resident Evils in VR. I get to be
Your goat.
Ethan.
You and your
Me
goat
and
are
you.
one.
Yeah, and then of course Resident Evil 4 on PlayStation is compatible with VR as well. So I would want to see that as
Are you
well.
still in third person though?
No,
No,
you're
it
not.
puts you in first person.
Yeah.
It's
First
really
person RE4
it's really
experience.
interesting.
Yeah.
Does 4 already have a first person option?
No, only through the VR mode you can do it.
Yeah.
I've heard people say it's amazing. I know
So too.
shout
I've
out
seen
to
a lot
another
of good clips.
favorite YouTuber of mine, Susie Sphere Hunter. She talked about how great RE4's VR is, and she praises it a lot. So definitely want to give her a shout out, because that's how I found out how good it was through her talking about it.
I've seen a Resident Evil 4 VR sniping montages, which are very fun. They just take the hunting rifle and just like pow some like far off enemy. Yeah, it looks tons of fun. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Definitely. Here's an interesting question though, and I know Megan hasn't played 8, but there's a little bit of it in 4 and some of the other games.
On the docket.
It's on the docket, yeah. Moving forward post 9, because 9 wraps up a lot of the Umbrella Corp stuff. Would you want to see them do it similarly to 4 and 8, where it's still like a bio weapon kind of thing, like they're infected and everything, right? But it almost leans into this like supernatural feeling a little bit, where it's like the town's like worshiping this guy and all this stuff. And 8 definitely does that, with Mother
8
Miranda.
definitely does.
Would you want to see
100%.
them do more of that, or stick to more of the Biohazard style stuff like they do in 2, where it's more of like a straightforward science fiction horror kind of monstrosity thing?
I'll always be more into the supernatural stuff than sci-fi stuff. So
That's fair.
I don't know. I think that's like I think that's why 4 is probably one of my favorites, is the aesthetic and the cult and all of that. I think
Mhm.
it's really cool. That's my answer.
No, that's good. That's a
good.
great answer. Yeah.
I think so.
I think that's why you'll like 8 too, because 8 also does the same
That's
thing.
what I
8 leans into it
hear.
more.
And 8, I'm going in really blind. I haven't
That's
seen
very
any
good.
gameplays of it, and I don't really know.
I
mean,
had a
I know
similar
what's gonna happen at the
experience with 8.
end. I know a spoiler.
That's okay.
That's okay though, I think.
Yeah. I think the tears have been shed.
Yeah. But 8, I think you will like 8 for that reason.
8 is extreme cult like.
The werewolves and
So
everything is sick. I really
dude,
like the werewolf
it's insane.
stuff. Like I like that they, I guess 4 does this a little bit because they go into like the mutations, like the thing and stuff more with like the Las Plagas. But I'm not afraid of them. And I know some people complain because they like T-Virus and like traditional zombies. I'm really not against them doing other types of monsters. You know, I don't mind the Mold Men in 7. I think the werewolves in 8 is cool. You know, they should branch out more. I don't think that's like criticism when people are like, don't change stuff. I don't think that's the problem. I really don't. I think the problem is changing. Yeah, liquors too. I like it when there's variety to the enemies. You know, but I think when people say don't change stuff. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say it's gameplay.
Oh, please, yeah.
That was it, yeah.
I was gonna say like I think that's another gripe people and I included have with 7. There's 3 varieties in enemies, like the lesser enemies, right? There's regular zombie, crawler zombies, fat zombies.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, or mold men, I should say.
Yeah, the
but
mold men. Yeah,
have the same thing. And so yeah, I think variation is definitely better when people say just it's fun to fight like a licker or a dog or a regular zombie or like whatever the fuck was in the sewers or those plant monsters. Just for RE2 as an example, like those are good varieties. Whereas RE7 doesn't, and I think they went a little bit on the right track in 8, bringing in these like like the werewolves, the underground like vampire zombies, and the like mechanical men. That was fun.
Oh yeah,
dude, bring that back. So
this is sounding like Twilight, vampires and werewolves.
there you go. Yeah, because Megan, in 7, all the enemies are based off of horror movies. They do the same thing in 8.
Yeah.
So now we do vampire horror, like mechanical machine horror, very supernatural horror, and like underwater aquatic horror.
I hate the underwater section so much.
The underwater section was crazy.
I should have just never played 7 because this is sounding way better.
You should have. You're seeing the origin of the greatest person to ever be in Resident Evil.
I do feel like it's important to play 7 to understand Ethan's story, but Ethan's story is better in 8, I will say.
It is
better. I do feel that way.
You'd be confused if I start 8, say, now?
No. You won't be confused because, like, at
You've
the end
gotten
of the
enough
day,
of it.
It's Resident Evil.
That's true. That's also a good point.
It's not like this Assassin's Creed bullshit where it's like we've fallen so far off the path that we don't even know what makes it Assassin's Creed anymore.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's still Resident Evil.
No,
You're
100%.
going to be going through a place where the residents are a bit evil. And rather than being Leon Kennedy, you're just the guy Ethan Winters that literally just wants to have a happy family.
Yeah,
That's the only storyline you need to know.
I also think if I had any critiques of 8, it's that some sections feel way scarier than others. Like,
absolutely.
I was not scared much at all during the mechanical stuff, personally, the mechanical section.
Yeah.
I thought the water section is anxiety inducing the way they set it up. It makes you very nervous, but I wouldn't say I was scared. I definitely was scared during Lady D's stuff with the vampires, but that's just because she's Mr. Xing you. You know, she's chasing you, as are the daughters, right?
Yeah. But
man, I know you mentioned it earlier, Glenn. That dollhouse section, fuck that.
Terrifying.
It's so
terrifying.
It is only surpassed in my eyes when it comes to, like, when I think of Resident Evil and I think of scariest sections.
Yes.
I think first introductions of Mr. X and 2, when you don't know how to handle it yet, that's like terrifying. And especially the first time he walks into a save room where you think you're supposed to be safe, and then Mr. X just goes, "No, I'm coming in." That horrifying. I think of the basement in 9 with the girl, terrifying.
Yeah,
her breaking the
that was
lights and like nowhere is safe. And I think of that dollhouse, especially because I find dolls unsettling, like horror with dolls and stuff. I definitely was like way too young when I saw that Goosebumps episode with the creepy ass puppet, so that's always like hit me on a certain wavelength. And so when you get into that house and it's all possessed dolls like creeping around and she's like singing and stuff, I was like, fuck this, dude. I'm out. Like, yeah. What's the Shark Tank meme? It's like 0.2 seconds. I'm out. Like, I can't do this. Like, it's so scary.
It is scary. And like to think about the fact that in the concept art, they didn't want it to be dolls. Instead of a doll maker, they wanted her to be a surgeon.
Yeah.
So those were going to be like exhumed bodies hanging from the ceiling rather than dolls. And like the doll that you're working on, that is like the whole puzzle of the section, was going to be a corpse instead of a doll. And like, just think about how much scarier that would be. They did do that in 9 with like the lungs and the heart puzzle.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. But like that part is terrifying, and that's a good critique because the fishing village was the least scary thing ever. And
yeah, it's
you're right,
just
the mechanical
it's just
stuff
intense.
was just so.
Yeah, I won't talk spoilers because I know Megan's about to play 8. But I also think
you guys can. It's okay.
Oh yeah, I'll keep it vague for one. I'll say it this way: the twist, and then like the final like monster you face in the doll section, awful, horrifying.
It is
actually so bad. That's all I'll say, because I want to protect that reveal because I do think it's one of the best reveals in the series.
Absolutely.
And I do think it hurts the rest of the game. No, that's
nothing
not an 8
like that. It's not going to be some copy. No,
it's just a very scary monster.
It is.
Or I'll say, I don't even know if it's scary. It's just disturbing. Like, it's so deeply disturbing that I was just incredibly uncomfortable. And
what's the beef with Lady D that Alexis wrote in the comments?
Ooh, I
don't know what she meant.
I was about to say, I personally, I didn't know. I thought that was going to be something with you, Glenn. I have no beef with Lady D's sections. I like them a lot, actually. I think that is my biggest critique, is her castle with the vampires is the first section. Because the game kind of lets you choose where to go a little bit in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like, with like trying to figure things out. It's mostly linear, though. And you can explore other sections a little bit. But I think my problem with RE8, and I really like 8, don't get me wrong. We'll see that. We'll end this discussion with like a tier list for everybody. And 8 is up there for me. I think they front load the game too hard. Lady D's castle is awesome, and the dollhouse section is horrifying, and then everything after it feels like it can't live up to that. Like, those two sections are the first two, and they're horrifying, and you're like, oh my god, how is the rest of the game going to live up to this? It's not, unfortunately. The story is still very good, and I think the villains are interesting and fun to fight against, but
they are.
As for the spectacle and horror of those first sections, they top them, definitely. I almost wish it would have been inverted. You know? Like, you would have done, like, the fishing village, then the mechanical stuff, then Dollhouse, and ended with Lady D. Versus the other way around. But that's just the way it goes.
Willis, did you think 9 was front-loaded? The way I did?
think... That's a good question. I think 9 isn't front-loaded in the same way where... I feel like there's still good content with Leon in the second half. They just drag it out. Like, I don't hate all of Leon's last section. I just think it's too long, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas I find some of the sections with the mechanical sequence in 8 cumbersome. Like, I find myself going, oh, brother, here we go. I gotta get this cog, and I gotta take it all the way back, and I gotta, you know. Whereas, like, maybe some of that is me being a Leon fanboy, and like I'm doing the same thing with Leon, but I'm just like, oh, I like Leon, right? I don't know. That's entirely possible. But I think that's some of what it was. Is I still think there is good content at the end of 9. It's just too few and far between, like you talked about. Where like there are great moments, like especially with Grace, and I think Leon's kind of like last stand moment they set up for in 9 is really awesome. Whereas I feel like none of the hype I felt in the first half of 8 until right at the end, which I feel like almost isn't fair. Like, it's never fair to be like, oh, my favorite part's the final boss. Well, of course, it's, you know, that's the big culminating moment. It's like saying my favorite Marvel movie's Endgame. Well, of course, it took 20 movies to get there, right? If you build up the whole game, of course, the ending is exciting, you know? But I felt like the overall hype I felt going through the start of 8 was never reached again until right at the end. When I hit the final boss, culminating moment, let's go. And that was like disappointing for me. I wanted the other moments to live up to everything for me. Because the only other time I really felt scared in the second half of that game is right when you open the fishing village section, there's that werewolf jump scare.
Oh
Where
yeah.
it, like, you're about to unlock, mild spoilers for Megan here, but like you're about to unlock that door and the werewolf just bursts through it instead and lands on top of you. That's a really good jump scare. And that was it. That was the last time I felt truly scared in that game, was getting jump scared by a werewolf.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, the rest of this is like body horror and scary, but not like I'm unnerved, you know?
Right. Sorry, one more question about 8.
No, go
Is
ahead.
it like in parts the way 4 is, like village, castle,
Yes.
island?
It's pretty
Okay.
much
Or-
you... Go ahead. Glenn
I
is
was
the
just
8
gonna say,
expert.
like 4 was the main inspiration for 8,
Yes.
right? So
Alright.
when you play 8, you can easily just go into the headspace of like they were trying to make 4 again.
That is what they
So
were doing.
it's not as bad as like, oh, I made it to the island in 4, I can never go back to that village.
Yeah.
It's still all connected,
Hmm.
but it is definitely the sense of I am not going to have a reason to go back to chapter 1, so it might as well have been disconnected from chapter 4. It is still accessible and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, that's a good point.
To answer the question.
It's also one of my favorite things about 8. I'm trying to think what other RE game does this. I'm a big fan of this in games in general, by the way. This is a good thing to say. I love it when a game shows you all of the antagonists at the start, and it's like, this is your rogues gallery, right? You're going to have to
Ooh.
beat all these people to succeed. Like, they introduce you to everybody, and then it's like, all right, round 1 match is Lady D. You're getting thrown in the vampire castle, right? And then you've seen everyone now. You're like, okay, I got to now beat this person, this person, this person, right? Like, when you have that opening sequence is very early into 8, like first less than an hour probably, right? When they drag you into the church and you meet the rogues gallery, right? It's Lady D, the puppet, the fish guy, I'm forgetting his name, but like Mechanical Man, and then
Heisenberg is Mechanical Man.
Heisenberg,
And
thank you.
Montreux is the
Moncho,
fisherman.
thank you. I could not remember their names.
That 8.
You got the knowledge. And then of course Mother Miranda, right? Like leading that group, you know.
Yeah.
They even set it up where it's like the person standing closest to you is Lady D, second furthest is the puppet, then Monstro, then Heisenberg, and then Lady D's all the way in the distance, right? Which is almost in a sense foreshadowing your progress through 8, right? You're going to face her, then him, then her. And I think that's really cool. That's one of my favorite parts about 8 is that they give you that in your mindset. Like, you start to dread, like if you find one of them creepier than the others, you're like, oh man, I have to go against them now, don't I, right? It's very Scott Pilgrim-esque even, where they go like, you're going to have to face the 7 evil ex-boyfriends, right? It's very much like
It's
setting the stage, right? You have to beat these people to win. Or like Mega Man, like the original game that does that is Mega Man 2, where it shows you all the bosses at the start. And it's like,
Yeah.
pick who you're going to fight, but you got to beat all of them to win, right? I like that RE8 does that.
They do that in 7 as well.
They
with
do
the
that in
dinner
7
table
with the
scene.
dinner table. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
The closest you get to that is the dinner table. I just think it's done better in 8.
It is done better in 8. Absolutely.
And there's better variety in 8 too. Like when I think of a rogues gallery, I think of like Batman, right? Like Joker,
Mhm.
Bane, Two-Face. Like they're all Poison Ivy. They're all very different. Whereas
Each have their own thing.
as much as there is variety in the Baker family in 7, they're all just kind of like scary hillbillies to an extent. Whereas when
That is true.
the variety in 8 is like vampires, you know, werewolves, all that stuff.
I agree with that for sure. Yeah, more stuff should do that.
I love that
Kinda
in
cool.
games. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Getting a, like, you know, you got to take these people down. A game I'm very critical of, FF16 does that. That was one of my favorite things.
Ooh.
Where they show you all the warlords. It's like, when they have that dinner table meeting and you're like, oh, I got to take on these people. And then I have beef with the way that game ends, but I'm not going to change the subject.
That's the one I was recommended. That's my FF introduction. I start with 16 and then go on to something else.
I love the first 3/4 of that game. I'll say it that way. The first 3/4 of that game are awesome.
Mark, have you played that one?
I've played 3/4 of it, so it's a great game.
He had similar opinions to me when he started talking to me, and he was like, I have real beef with this and this in FF16, and I was like, if you hate that, you're only gonna hate it more as you reach the end.
Are there 3 acts to that game? Or
yeah,
okay, because I beat probably like one of the best boss fights, and then it transitioned you into a new area, and then I think I just kind of fell off from there.
The best boss fight in that game is at the 2/3 mark, which is significantly disappointing to me.
Shit.
I was like, how are they going to... Similar complaint to 8. How are they going to top this? They can't. But that's a completely different can of worms I won't get into. But I think I can pivot us to this, which is, what's everybody's favorites? Because this could start some real discussion.
I was going to ask one more question to Megan.
Go ahead.
Before we get into that. Megan, besides Code Veronica, what's next after 8?
Ooh.
Which one's on the docket?
Every time I finish an RE game, it's like, which I went through. That's why I played 9, because after I finished 3, I was like, now what? And then I was like, do I play 5? Do I play 6? You guys were against that.
Right.
I think I made the right move and played 9 instead.
I agree.
But I think 7 maybe wasn't the right move. It just doesn't feel, when we were talking about classic RE, to me, that's like 1, obviously, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And then 4 is pretty different, but like parts of 9, obviously. 7 doesn't feel like that for me, so I don't feel like I'm playing a RE game. But if it was one of my first, maybe I'd feel differently. But yeah, what's on the docket after 8? It might be Silent Hill, and then Code Veronica. It comes out.
I know I stood on business in the chat between us and our personal chats. That you would love Silent Hill 2. I still stand by that. I actually think that's a great next game for you after 8.
Because, to be honest, I think what I'm going to run into a lot with Silent Hill, based off of what you guys were talking about, was getting into a section and being like, okay, I don't know what to do next. But that happened to be a lot in 2, and it wasn't like the end of the world. I just would start it the next day and come back to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with 7 right now. So it's not the end of the world, but I don't know. I don't think I would hate that part of it. The stalker part, though, we'll see with Pyramid Head. I don't know. I don't want to derail us too much.
No. I think it's fine to talk about Silent Hill before we talk about RE. No, I was going to say, Pyramid Head's not much of a stalker in Silent Hill 2.
Okay.
Silent Hill 2 is, without spoiling anything of it, has these, the best way I'll say it without getting into spoilers is it has these nightmare sequences. Like, you get to a certain part of the town, and you fall into... lore reasons it's not this, but easiest way to explain it without spoilers is a nightmare, right? And that nightmare reflects you essentially fall into someone else's nightmare, right? Is the best way to think of it. So you experience Silent Hill as someone else would, right? So you experience their horror. One of those sections is running from Pyramid Head. But for the rest of the game, he's kind of there, but there's no Mr. X him chasing you. You know what I'm saying? There's only really one big section where he's following you around an area. And I wouldn't say that's very long.
I was going to say, that's why I tried to mention in our private chat, Pyramid Head is Resident Evil 3 Remake Nemesis.
Yes.
When you see him, he is a presence that you know for a fact you just have to leave.
Yeah, you cannot hurt him. Yeah.
Yes. Whereas Mr. X, he lingers. You are going to have to deal with him. RE3 Remake Nemesis is okay, I see Nemesis. That means this section is over. I have to go right now.
Yeah.
And Pyramid Head fits that same description of, oh God, Pyramid Head is here. Time to go.
Yes, I agree.
Part's over with. Yeah. So it's that sense.
I strongly agree with that. And Silent Hill 2, I think what you would really like about it, I'm going to say this and it's going to sound like an insult. I mean it as a compliment. Silent Hill 2 is a car crash of a video game. And I mean that in the sense of it's so fucked up that you're kind of like, I can't look away. It has this continuous intrigue of, like, every time you get to a new section, and this is why I think the exploration won't be a problem for you in Silent Hill 2, because I felt this way. It does not hold your hand like some of the RE games does. It wants you to explore. But every time you fall into I hit my mic, into a nightmare or into like one of these sections, they're all so unique. They're all very interesting. And they all have a variety of enemies that are new and fresh each time you get there, that it feels so scary that you almost can't look away. You're like, I have to know what's around the corner. I want to explore this area. And in doing that, you find stuff that you need to solve the puzzles. I feel there's a very natural exploration to Silent Hill 2, because it's also important to say too, when you fall into the nightmares, the game changes its art style. They're all aesthetically different. Like the color like base Silent Hill is very gray. Fog, gray, scary, right? One of the nightmares is very blue. One of them is very red, you know? So it changes its whole aesthetic when you do that. So I feel it naturally kind of intrigues you to go, oh, wow, this looks so different. You know what I'm saying? And you get that natural curiosity or interest, which I think the game does really well.
Yeah. No inventory management either.
That is very nice. Yeah, it's not going for that.
All medicine just goes into the infinite sack. All ammo goes into the infinite sack. And your weapons are just your weapons. They stay on you. So I think you'll like that as well.
Yeah. I got nothing but praise for Silent Hill 2. If you were asking me to tier list my favorite horror games, like no RE, if I had to go top 5, it would go RE4, it would go Silent Hill 2, it would go Dead Space 1, then it would probably be, then I'd probably put like RE8 or 9, one of those two. And then I'd
9
maybe
is up there.
I do really like 9.
It's pretty scary.
And then I'd probably put original Outlast, like Outlast 1.
Yes,
I love Outlast
that's one of my
1.
favorites.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the last great run and hide horror game. I feel like we haven't had a good run and hide horror game since that game. And it was so good.
We gotta do Coffee Cast Halloween episode. 3x3 horrors.
Dude, I'd love to do that.
Mark that here now. So
I'll put it on business. We gotta get Mark to play Silent Hill 2.
It's such a good idea. We gotta get Mark to finish a horror game.
Oh, you're muted.
We can't hear you.
Yeah.
He's so scared he can't even speak.
Look it down, Mark.
My bad. I was like saying stuff. I was saying like I would have to play like 8 games to fill a 3x3.
At least
there's time.
There is time.
I think Silent Hill 2 could be a good first one for Mark too. I feel like it's a game you can really jump into.
It's good. I was gonna mention, not to stir the pot, but there is a specific puzzle that you can look it up very early and skip an entire section. So try your best not to do that if you can.
Oh, in Silent Hill 2?
Yeah, because you're the only one that hasn't played it. And I'm telling you, like...
Oh, Mark too, I guess.
Mark as well. Don't look it up, Mark.
Shouldn't have said anything. Shouldn't have said anything.
And Willis knows exactly what I'm talking about, because it's a box in the hospital that is just a bunch of numbers that you can easily just look up the numbers to. But the point is like finding numbers in the hospital. So
I didn't really look up anything in 9. The safe
perfect.
stuff I didn't look up. I looked up the Wesker thing, the sunglasses.
Oh, that's fine. That's
the rising rookie Rebecca.
Yeah,
that is super complicated. I had to look that shit up too. I'm not gonna lie.
How would you know that
that's an
area of
Easter
the
egg though. Yeah.
library?
Yeah, exactly. You'd like have to figure it out.
I looked it up on my second playthrough.
Did you guys do that very secret puzzle in 9? That was
I did.
I did.
I did.
I didn't know you had to do it on your second playthrough. I tried to do it on my first, and Willis was like, "That's not going to do anything."
You have to do 2 playthroughs to succeed in it. Yeah, that's what took people so long.
You have to do 2. You have to do like 1.5 because you got to get to the flood escape section of Grace, which is like.
I did wait 15 minutes for the bodies, though.
Exactly. You do have to wait 15 minutes for the bodies. Which, if you fail that section, you have to wait 15 minutes again. Nah, that was crazy.
That was crazy work.
I did not think that was fun.
No,
Sorry.
that was clearly a like.
Throw shit
How would you
I
know
didn't think
that?
that was
Yeah,
fun.
no.
No, you wouldn't. Nobody
It was
would do
fun
that.
to follow that race when the game first came out.
Yeah,
It's true.
It was
Yeah.
definitely meant to be like a
Easter egg hunt.
Easter egg hunt for the community. But now that it's over, it's just a complicated puzzle people can look up. That's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's not
You
as
gotta
fun as
take
it
the
was when it first
hands
came
of it.
out. Yeah,
Exactly.
stuff like that always ages badly because it's designed to be done in real time with the release, and then when you come to it later, it's just like following a guide.
Exactly. And it's like, it's worth like collection points. I'm not gonna abbreviate that.
Yeah,
It's worth like a lot of collection points.
one of
and
the
so-
worst abbreviations of all time.
They got changed. I don't know why it's been like 4 games with that, but
It's so
no,
bad.
collection points. It's worth like so many, and it's like it's obviously everybody's last one after they bought everything they needed to buy, and so it's not worth it at all.
You never
But yes, I
answered
didn't mean
the
to
question
derail.
about rank.
Yeah, Megan, please
Ooh.
rank all of them.
Yeah, let's do it.
The ones I've played so far.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant.
Let me pull up my list. And I'll say the remakes. That way everybody knows.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh,
RE4
so-
remake, RE2 RE2 remake, RE3 remake, RE9, RE1 remake, RE7.
No, that's fair. I like that. I honestly like that ranking. That's a good ranking.
I did
But
too.
I think if I played all of RE1 remake, it probably would be lower. I just
That's
have
fair.
only played
I
like 90
agree.
minutes of it, so I can't really judge it that
I
hard.
agree.
RE1 has
and
its
it'll
charm.
be interesting
think
to see where 8 goes in as well when
Yes.
you do that one.
I think 8 will be high for
Based off what
Megan.
you guys are talking about, it's probably either gonna be after 4 or after 2. We'll see.
Mhm.
after
I
4
really,
would be
I really like
huge.
2.
2 is really good.
Yeah, 2 is really good. They knew remaking 2 would be the kickstart of remasters, because it's
Yes.
like that was definitely the testing, like focus group, bro. It's like we'll see if they like the best one,
Yeah.
and then we'll do the rest.
That was definitely 2, because I saw a lot of people saying when RE2 remake first happened that people were like, why didn't they just remake 4? And it's like, I mean, people feel religiously strong about 4, right? So you don't want to
Yeah,
open
people
with that
didn't
and
wanna remake
fuck it
4.
up. Yeah, exactly. So going with 2, which is very beloved, but I wouldn't say it's hard to mess up remaking 2, right? Puzzle-based game, just make it third person instead of fixed camera and make it prettier. Add some of the inventory stuff from 7, boom. Good experience. And then they kind of worked it out until they reached 4, where I feel like they've reached a peak with that style with 4.
They definitely have.
Which, yeah, I
They
can
definitely
say for my ranking, it's definitely, I'm going to give it a tie for 1 between original RE4 and the remake. I'm nostalgic for the original, but the remake is better. I do think the remake's better. I'd then probably say RE2 remake is definitely up there for me. Immediately after that, I'll say today, how I feel exactly today, I'd put RE8, then RE9. He's very happy about that. Then RE9. Then I'd even say I really like RE1. I do. I'm very nostalgic for that. I think it's fun. I love the stupid dialogue and stuff like that that's in that game. It's very fun. So I'd say RE1. Then probably 7. Then 5. Then 6. Yeah. And I won't count. Yeah, I need to play 3 to put that in there. I'll also say I'd put RE2 in there somewhere. I've only played it once. Very quickly, I'll say, because that game's really easy to beat if you're playing it maybe on your computer, not through traditional means, where you have save states where you go, oh no, I lost, hit the button and just reload exactly where you were, right? You can beat that game pretty quick. So I did like it, but I don't feel it's perfectly fair to rank it. So I'll say that's where I stand.
Yeah.
4 is still the GOAT in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. My list, and it's funny, Willis, this is like one of our earliest conversations we ever had as like friends, was like listing our RE rankings.
Yes.
So this is awesome. It's like seeing how it's progressed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mine is 8, 4,
What?
8 number one.
What?
He
I thought
loves
that-
7
8.
would be 1.
Mm-mm.
No, 8 is better than 7. I'm saying 8 is so monumental in keeping the series alive that you got to see, Megan.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for 7's success, there would be a nothing
You know,
Resident
4.
Evil drought.
All right.
There would be no Capcom anymore, most likely.
There would be.
They were going to declare
Yeah.
bankruptcy until 7 did well.
7
7 did well,
saved it.
and they took the money from 7 and made Monster Hunter World, which also did well. So 7 gave them money to finish Monster Hunter, which made a ton of money. It's still in like the top 20 games on Steam. Like, you know, they did that. That gave them a ton of money, and they used all the Monster Hunter money to make the RE engine, which let them
Yeah.
do all the remakes.
Remaking 4 was not even a post-it note on the main lead developer's computer
yeah.
monitor. Like, it was so beyond that understanding of remaking a 4 one.
Yeah, it's they were in a bad spot when 7 came out, because all the RE games did bad. The Mega Man game they had made did terrible. They hadn't made a Monster Hunter game since the GameCube. And their best-selling franchise was Marvel vs. Capcom, because MCU was big at the time and everything. And the new Marvel vs. Capcom bombed, and Marvel pulled their licensing rights. So they were like,
Yeah.
You can't use this anymore. So they had no money, lost their licensing rights to their most successful thing, and were like, we're cooked if we can't do something. So RE7 was the all or nothing moment for Capcom. It was good or they went bankrupt. And thankfully, it sold very well. It was very well received when it came out.
Save the franchise winners is not some dog whistle that we throw out there into the community.
No, there's a reason people say that,
Save
yeah.
the franchise winners. Walk them down winners. The coldest winner there is, Ethan.
All right.
He did it. So
Your rank.
So that being said,
8 number 1, right? Ethan's story, his
Mhm.
climax. 4, just because, come on, it's 4.
It's 4. Yeah.
2, 9, 7, 3,
Whoa.
5, 6.
Yeah.
I never played 1.
That's
9
fair.
above 7. Why?
I do think 9 is better than 7, just because of the fact of it's the best of both worlds, right? Whatever you dislike in 7 is not going to be there in 9.
Yes.
Whatever you like in 7 is going to be there in 9.
Yeah.
Can you give an example? I don't know if I
So-
agree with that one.
The inventory management in 9,
Okay.
Grace's sections. If you like inventory management, you get that in 9. You do. And it's there in 7. If you like the Leon sections and like being a badass and like getting to wreck shit with like infinite amounts of ammo by late game, you don't get that in 7, but you do in 9.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So-
Yeah.
I think just the fact of like what we've been talking about what Willis and I and you dislike in 7 isn't in 9 at all. It doesn't feel too slow. It doesn't feel too clunky. If you don't want to play in first person, you literally can turn it off.
Which
That's
is a
not
great
thing in
choice,
7.
I think.
A
They
great
should do that
choice.
for every
So,
game moving forward. They should let you choose.
Yeah.
just the
I think
fact
I
that
would
it's the
hate
best-
7 less if I could do it in person. That's
Yeah.
why I got the expansion pack for 8, because I'm going to do it in third person.
Right. So strictly just the fact that 9 is undisputably the best of both worlds. Like that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you really hate inventory management and hate that you have to like do puzzles, just get past Grace's section and you get to go dick around as Leon for like
Yeah.
4 hours. You don't get that in 7. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
you don't.
you don't
just
have a
are
break from it.
You are an average everyday dude that doesn't get the power fantasy.
Yeah.
In 8 you do, and which is why I like 8, but in 7 you just don't. And so for that reason, 9 is above 7. Whenever I don't want to be slow and clunky,
No, I think that's
I
completely
won't
fair.
have to be in 9.
I think one of the things too about Leon's sections in 9 is it's almost like style of 7 and Grace's sections that's also remnant of 1, right? It's like a bitter tea, right? It's rough. It's kind of, hard to get through. Some people really like that. I like Grace's sections. I like that they're intense and you have to think about your decisions. But in 7, you either like that or you don't, right? Whereas with 9, Leon is almost the sugar cube that gets thrown into the tea, right? Where it's like, hey, has this been a little too bitter for your taste? Have a little Leon. Break it up a little bit, make it light, make it crazy, And I think that's one of 9's strong points is that it does give you a best of both worlds. I just think it should be broken up a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree with that.
Additionally, Megan, there is a section in 7 that is notorious in the community. The boat. You don't know what it means now, but
do I get to drive a boat?
I wish it was that fun.
You're correct. I also don't like this section.
The whale section, part of 4.
I wish it was that fun too, but no, you're just like you are going to get to it, and if there is a time you would turn it off, I would believe it would be then. It is a really bad section. Rough. It is the bane of every replay you do, or people do. I don't expect you to replay 7.
The VHS tapes. I've already done 2 of those and didn't like either one.
Really bad thing in RE7. The
VHS tapes are annoying.
Every replay, you have to watch the fucking Ghost Hunter video. Every replay, you have to just walk through that. Is really bad. But no, I still think the boat is worse.
I have a comment on 7. My least favorite thing about 7, but it's a spoiler, so I want to say this first in case Megan.
Just say it, Willis.
Okay.
Just say it.
My least favorite part of 7. It does the rogues gallery, which I like, which is shows everyone at the table. You don't fight the sun in the base game.
Oh my god, you're so right.
I hate that. You show arguably the worst member of the family, the most twisted and evil one, and he just fucks off like 2/3 of the way through the story, and then it's like, damn, he got away. What do you mean he got away? Yeah. And then they sell it as DLC, chasing him down. I'm like, that sucks. I really hated that. That made me, the first time I played through the game, I literally remember hitting credits and being like, no son? Like, that didn't happen? We just didn't do that? I was so mad. That is my biggest critique of that game. I could get past all the gameplay issues if it wasn't for the fact that they literally tease a character and who has a whole section where you don't defeat them. They just run away. What the fuck? Like, I hate that so much.
Does he come back at all in the base game?
No.
You go through you go through his saw trap section, you're about to catch him and he's like, and runs away. And then that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, sorry. You don't only see him in Diner.
No. You don't only see him in Diner.
Okay.
You have his section, but it's literally, like I mentioned, Saw.
Yeah.
Where you break free from the trap and he's like, all right.
Bye.
See ya.
That's one of the most satisfying parts of sections of 7 and is especially good in 8 is at the end of each of those sections, the person who has been tormenting you get to beat their ass. And that's one of the best parts of those games.
Walk them down.
Is like getting that moment of like, this thing tormented me. I get to have my revenge moment. Taking that from the player is so lame. Like, I think that's so unbelievably lame. I wanted to say that earlier and I forgot. We got off track. I really hate that about 7. So I didn't want to spoil that, but if you don't care, then yeah, I'm going to say it. You don't even face him and it annoys the shit out of me.
That's like kind of nice. I don't like having to face them.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
So, yeah, 7, 5, 6 for sure. But that has nothing to do with Ethan Winters. I think Ethan Winters is the best character we've had yet.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Ranking top men and then women, but only the ones that like you play in the base game. So not side characters.
You go first, man.
I would probably say.
Wait, do we want to go first?
No, well, let's go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I would say Leon is my goat. I love Leon. I do. That's definitely exposure. Just I met him first, so I've always thought he was cool. I really like Claire's section in 2 a lot. I actually want to see more Claire. I would love for Jill to have more content, but she just doesn't. Like, she's very present in 1, and then, 3 she's cool, and what they do to her in 5 I just find atrocious. So I can't rank her very high. So I would go like Leon is up there for me for the
Jill was bad
guys.
at 5.
And then I would say I think Claire is my number 1 for the women, but I'd put her below Leon. So I would probably go Leon Claire like immediately. Then I'd probably say it's really close between Chris and Ethan for me. Because I like Chris, but I find his progression into being just musclehead strong guy kind of sucks. And I think I like Ethan's character arc as a father more. I find that more interesting writing wise. So I'd probably go Ethan and then Chris. Then I'd say Jill. Then I'd say of the other games, I'm trying to think who I'm like missing.
Don't forget about Grace.
Yeah, Grace. See, that's the thing with Grace is like I look at her almost like a self-insert to an extent, a little bit in 9 in certain sections. She has a lot of front-loaded story, and then it's kind of just you being Grace because you're scared when she's scared, But man, Grace is good. I'd probably put Grace above Ethan, even maybe for her importance to the story. So, doing this on the fly, I'll say Leon, Claire, Grace, Ethan, Chris, Jill. That's what I'll say. And maybe I'll say Rebecca right at the end for the literal 5 minutes I've played of Resident Evil 0. Rebecca gets the bottom because I saw her for 5 seconds. That would be my list.
Got it.
What about you? Where would you put them?
Well, when I was thinking of the question, I was thinking more like, all right, let's put the boys over here. And
Oh,
the girls
okay.
over
I see
here,
what you're saying. Yeah.
rather than like intermingling
Like a
them,
whole
but that's
tier
an
list.
interesting take. Yeah. Yeah, because I haven't played a lot as Chris, so I don't know where he would rank for me. The only men I've played as so far is Leon, Carlos, and Ethan.
Go Carlos.
So it'd probably go in that order.
That's fair.
Leon, Carlos, and then Ethan. And then for the girls, probably Claire. Well, I liked playing as Jill, but she's not.
Yeah, that's
character.
I agree.
So I would say Claire, Grace, Jill.
I think that's a good take. I think that's a really good take. Especially post-remake series of like the modern games. I think that's a really great take.
Yeah, 'cause I'm trying to figure out a good way to do this. Because, like, okay, obviously, guys, Ethan, Leon, Chris. We're doing top 3 of each, right?
Or, I don't know.
It's like a big list. So, I mean, I think just those ones being the best, I'm not going to put, like, Jake or Piers. I guess
No,
that'd be
they're not even. I'm not even
Yeah.
thinking about. Like, I've played 6, but
just throw it out
anybody
there.
in 6,
We're
I
not
don't even
gonna
put in the
6 'cause
conversation.
I was going to put Ada. She has a 6
Ooh,
campaign.
that's fair. That is
So
true.
you have played as her, not in a DLC.
Yeah. She has a 6 campaign, which arguably was my favorite, but
the 4 DLC
that's
too.
because I didn't have to deal with AI. In all of RE6, you have to deal with an AI, except for Ada's campaign, because they didn't make that one co-op.
Mhm.
So she was fun to play as her. There is also Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways, which is a DLC,
That's true.
admittedly. But she is playable, not DLC, in Resident Evil 2. You get to play as her.
That's true.
That is true.
Then
So-
are we including Sherry in this too?
I think we should. I would.
Good argument.
I would put
I
Emily's
didn't even think of
part
that.
over Sherry.
Emily's part?
Ooh. Emily in
no,
in
Mia?
9.
Whatever that character
That's
is.
Chloe.
Chloe.
Yeah, that's to show you that, like, there's millions of Emily clones.
Oh yeah.
Right. I couldn't remember
The
what her
fact
name
that-
was.
Like, the fact that we thought we were playing as Emily, and then in the end, she gets, like, stabbed, and it's like, oh, it seemed like Chloe got out, and everybody was like, what the hell is a Chloe?
Yeah, exactly.
So, in terms of girls, Ada number 1, Claire, Jill. I
think
guess
that's good.
Sherry in RE6 would be next. I mean, her part was cool, but it was like being Jake, like, babysitter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Her only goal was to defend Jake because he was the son of Wesker. Everybody wanted him dead,
Yeah.
so he was that. Yeah,
I think that's fair. I
Yeah,
completely forgot about
that's
everything from 6 and the DLCs when I was doing that just then. I was thinking like main characters, but I think that's a good point actually.
that's why I brought up the list and was like, how can we reasonably do this? Because there's so many people in the basement, man. Just looking at this list,
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
like I cannot believe Alyssa Ashcroft broke out of the RE Outbreak basement, bro. Looking at these RE Outbreak characters, it's like, ugh,
Yeah,
who
who
are
are
She's
these
some
in
of these
people?
people?
7.
Who
Her
is in
name
7?
mentioned in 7. Alyssa. It's like in one
Oh,
of the
really?
newspapers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Ethan is mentioned in 9 in a Reddit post on Grace's laptop.
Oh, that's
Shut
right.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, with flashback sequence where she's typing on the laptop on the hotel room bed. It's a story about Ethan killing people in Dolby, Louisiana.
Reddit
Interesting.
warrior
So like when
Grace
she's
Ashford.
younger, that's like the same time that 7
Yeah.
is happening.
Exactly.
That's how they put it in the
It's like when
timeline.
yeah. Yeah, so okay, that makes sense. Oh, I didn't mention Grace. Sorry. Grace will be
I was about to
after
say
Jill.
best new character.
Yeah, Grace will be after Jill. I don't know. I didn't have a problem with Grace. I thought it was funny how everybody, and it was funny Megan coming with this same critique like so late after the community's already gone through it, but like why does Grace like make so much noise?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh dude, everybody was talking about that like day one. I don't know. It's just like what she does, just what we got to deal with. That's just her.
I think that's a great
Um,
perspective
yeah.
that you bring though, being here, Megan, and talking about it, is because you did play it later than people. And a lot of times with
Yes.
games, when people play it initially, complaints are just like people looking for stuff to complain about. So you never know if it's really
Mhm.
appropriate or it's just like keyboard warriors being annoying, right? So seeing you see those same things, I think really makes a point that that is a good critique.
I agree.
I mean, there was no need. There'd be times where she was just alone, nothing was chasing her, and still like breathing like crazy, like freaking
Yeah.
out.
Anxiety attack.
But I was like so annoyed by it in the beginning, like her overall personality, but then I didn't realize like the trauma that she had experienced.
Yeah, they don't set it
So
up.
I used up on that because I was like, why is this FBI agent acting like this? But
Yeah.
it made more sense later.
Yeah. A desk agent all alone in the place her parent was murdered. So
Crazy
Yeah.
work
Like,
from her boss to do that.
her mom's head got ripped off.
you know,
Like she
why would
saw it.
Yeah, it's awful.
um
But yeah, that's I
Yeah,
like
I think
everybody's
that's
lists. I think that's a good place to capstone the RE conversation. We're getting close to around the 2-hour mark. I do want to give Mark a chance to talk Pal World because I know you've been playing a good
Sorry,
bit.
Mark.
No, it's fine.
You didn't want my list for
Oh yeah, go
favorite
off,
Resident
King.
Evil
Yeah, give
characters?
me.
All right.
Say stuff about
Favorite
what you've
Resident
seen.
Evil, RE2. Favorite character I've played, Leon. That's all I've got.
That's it. That's all you got.
That's a good list.
That's so funny.
Yeah. No, I don't think I'll play as much as you guys have done, but I think I would definitely like to play 2, 4, maybe a couple of the others. I am also kind of intrigued about 8, just like,
Mhm.
the theme and the setting. So maybe that one as well. And 9 maybe. But gotta finish 2 first.
Mhm.
No, you don't. 4, I think, is an all-around favorite. You could do
But then
4.
but then see if I play 4, like I rather, because it seems like 4 is a favorite, but then I'd rather play 2, because then if I play 4, then I won't be interested in going back to 2. That makes sense.
You might. I was interested in going back.
What was the order you played? Which one was the
Oh
first
yeah, I
one?
should have talked about that too. My order. I
Oh.
went 4. I played a little bit of 1 because I thought I was
Mm.
gonna go through like the whole,
Right.
Yeah.
and then 2, 3, 9, 7, soon to be 8.
Yeah.
Okay. So
think
you
that's
you went 4 then 2, but you still okay. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll start with 4 instead. Go back to 4.
I think 4 is
'Cause
the
I don't
best entry title for the
Yeah.
franchise.
Okay.
I think you
Yes.
could hand
Mm.
Because if
anybody
you've
off
never
the street.
played an RE game,
Exactly.
2 is
Yep.
really tough, and it's
Agreed.
like
Yeah.
you don't get
It's
the
just
reward of wanting to finish it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about that.
I think RE4 is the Like if you ran into somebody who like video game wise only plays FIFA, like gun and ball gamer like meme, you know, where it's like I only play Call of Duty and FIFA every year, you know. I think you could walk up to that person, never played a horror game in their life, hand them a copy of RE4 and be like, play this, and they would love it. I really feel like it's the strongest one in the series to be like, this is a great entry point. It has a little bit of everything. It's scary, but it's not like continuously horrible. It's challenging, but not overly punishing like 2 can be. It's just the all-around experience. I think you could win over almost anyone with that game.
Okay.
But yeah.
Amen.
But yeah, Pal World, very, very different discussion.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if there's too much to say other than that, 1.0 has released, and I don't know how many of you guys have any of you guys played
Oh yeah,
Pal World when
I
it
played a
came out?
bunch when it came out. I had a world with friends and played a lot.
But
I,
Megan and Glenn, you haven't.
I have not played Power World.
I have not.
That's fair.
Okay, well, there's guns in that game too. In this
Oh.
Pokemon.
Did you say that, Mark? I gotta buy it now.
Right, it's Pokemon with guns, and
It is.
it is like, honestly, if you
Fail.
were a fan of Pokemon, it's probably like the best Pokemon, quote unquote, Pokemon game. Just like
Yes.
how the mechanics of catch. It's a mess of a game. That's one thing, but it
Yes.
is so fun. Like when that game came out, it is like hard to describe how huge it was. At its peak, there were 2 million concurrent players. Like this is a random game. That type of numbers is only taken up by like the hottest releases, and there were 2 million
Yeah, exactly.
when that game came out. And right now with that was in what was it, beta or early access, like still in development, but it came out. It took the world by storm, and even right now, it is the number 2 played game on Steam. It peaked at 800K recently. So
Holy shit.
I did not expect that because I thought 1.0 would come out and like a smaller fraction
Yeah,
would sort of
I
come
agree.
back, like maybe 400, like a 400K peak, which is what I expected, but no, it's like double that. I haven't, and what I did is I started a new save file, because I sort of wanted to experience it from the start. But I haven't really gone too far. It feels pretty similar to what I played. Obviously, graphics have improved, a lot of just like changes. Because I didn't like just play at the beginning and then stop. I've been like going back into it every now and then, just not too invested. But very good game. I do recommend. But
Yeah.
it is, I don't even know how to describe it. It's primarily like these survival type games, but
Yeah,
it also doesn't have the vibe of a survival game.
I would
like
say
these typical survivor games.
maybe this is me, right? But I would almost categorize Pal World as satire. Like I would consider it a satire game. It is almost making fun of Pokemon and the logical steps you would take if that sort of thing was realistic, right? Where it's like if you were just constantly catching Pokemon and having them do stuff for you, you are like, to an extent, keeping them as like workers. So then it's like they help you around and do stuff, but then like they have mental health things and like, oh, like you're overworking them and like all that stuff. And then like one of the solutions it tells you like, oh, give them like drugs, and then they'll like, they won't complain as much because they're high, right? It's almost a like huge satire of that idea, which is why it's like funny to give Pikachu an AK-47, right? Like that's the whole point. It's meant to live in the absurd, and I think a lot of people don't understand that, and that even when you start playing the game, it very much sells it to you as this is a satire. We're gonna make fun of this, which is definitely why Nintendo got mad and sued them.
Right, but the thing is, they won, I think, or they had to change a small thing, like a stupid thing.
It was such a specifically stupid thing. It was the you can't.
Oh, you can't.
Nintendo owns the patent of throwing a capture ball, so you cannot throw the ball.
But only that. So no. So it's even more specific because you have your Pokemon. I'm just gonna call it what it is.
Call it what it is. Yeah.
You have Pokemon
what
around.
it is.
So what you do is you start the game, you craft a bat, and you're beating the shit out of this cute little Pokemon until it's like low health. Then you throw your Pokeball, so you can still throw a Pokeball and catch it. That wasn't the issue. The issue that Power World had to change is that when you then summon your Power World back, it just sort of appears now. Whereas when the game
you can't throw it to summon it.
Yeah, but you can still
Oh,
throw to catch, so it's like very specific.
dude, that's so stupid.
So yeah,
Yeah.
when you summon your pal, because once you catch it, it's in your party or it's in your like box where you keep all your pals. But then you can
So
summon one to like be alongside with you and fight with you. But
Mhm.
that's specific animation. They just sort of appear now instead of you throwing the ball and they appear.
Mhm.
But you can still throw the ball to catch, just not throw to summon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, on that point, like the not just also being a satire, because it's like a lot of these other survival games, and they've been quite popular recently, like with Valheim and some of the
Like
other
Rust.
ones that are
Yeah.
they typically have a theme. They're really more on the survival aspect where it's like you're naked on an island and you're like collecting rocks and stuff. And you're also doing that in Power World, but the vibe is very different because it's like whereas in those other games, it's much more like you're surviving, you're a survival.
Mhm.
Power World, you're like
Base
conquering
building.
almost.
Yeah, you're
It's
almost
it's
conquering
very
it. Yeah.
yeah, it's very colorful, but then it has like those darker satirical undertones
Oh
that you
yeah.
mentioned, Willis. That you can just do fucked up shit like like set up a factory and your pals are just slaves
You
making
could totally do
weapons
that.
and
The game
such.
totally
Yeah,
teaches you how to do that. And it's meant to be fucked up and be like, this is wrong. But the game is like making fun of it. Like it takes that idea from Pokemon where like in Pokemon they give you your starter, right? And they're like, all right, conquer the league, like take over everybody's like areas. You know what I'm saying? And it takes that and it's like conquer the land. Make the pals work for you,
right.
conquer this area. When you beat the like gym bosses, right? All of their henchmen start working for you and like you take over these areas and
Yeah,
sections, right? And it's worth noting all of the gym leaders are like anime stereotypes or like direct pair. Like one of them looks just like Gojo from JJK, like to the headband and white hair and everything, like
yeah,
exactly the same. Um, and it's very much trying to just make fun of all of that stuff.
right.
To the extreme. It's like, what if we
But
just push this to the
yeah,
limit?
and the last thing I think why Power World also does something well,
Yeah.
not just capturing that like
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon feeling, but it's also like especially with 1.0 right now, it's incredibly polished.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
These types of games tend to be they look unfinished, and most of these survival games they come out in like Power World that in like a beta or early access phase, and even some of the ones that are the most fun, it's like none have reached the level of Power World because of not only how polished it is, but just
Yeah,
how many stuff there is to do, and they also like a lot of quality of life features that typically are problems in these games. Power World has fixed or doesn't have when it
yeah,
comes to like your inventory management or just it's just much smoother, and you can even like the way you can customize the difficulty of your world, you can change anything about it. So a really fun game, I would say, really satisfying to play, especially if you're like
yeah.
ADHD brained. It's like you always have something to do. You can just go out and you'll just be distracted or find something to do. You catch pals, or there's a dungeon, you go do the dungeon, or you're collecting materials. It's a very satisfying gameplay loop.
I agree.
But
I'm
yeah,
excited to get back into
that's
it.
been Power World, came out recently in 1.0. I
Hope
would
they continue to
recommend.
expand it. Yeah. I think that's probably even a good place to wrap things up if people are good with that. We're hitting right at the 2 hour mark, so it's kind of perfect. Thank you everyone who tuned in live. We
Yeah.
had a lot of live viewers today. That was very fun. Thanks to the homies and the fans and everything. So we will be back next week. Thank you again, Megan, for
Thank
hopping
you,
on for
Megan.
this. We've been trying to make this happen for a while behind the scenes, so I'm really
Yes.
happy we could make it work. And I hope
Great
we'll have you back for
time,
Silent Hill.
great talks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Definitely. Will be fun.
I'll let you know.
Sweet.
Alrighty. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Awesome.
We'll catch you next week. Bye everybody. See ya. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.